So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. We spoke about, 2 weeks ago, we spoke about the heart, and we said the heart in Arabic is what? Qalb. How do you say two hearts? How do you say two hearts in Arabic? Qalbani or qalbaini. And the function of the heart, or the qualities of the heart, is the heart has all of these things. It experiences love, it experiences joy, it experiences longing, attachment, emotions, feelings. This is what the heart experiences. And we say that the Arabic word for qalb came from qalaba. And qalaba means to turn. It's something which can move, which can change, which is the heart. Therefore, the dua we made, we say, Ya muqallibal qulub, the changer, the turner of hearts. We did this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'll do the hadith again, but first do nahu first. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the hadith, Ala wa inna fil jasadi mudghatan. So jasad means a body and mudgha means a piece of flesh. The word mudgha, what is it, male or female? Okay, the word jasad first of all. Is the word jasad male or female? Like, does jasad have a female ending? No. Does it have, it's not a female name, it's none of those things. So jasad is going to be a male. It's not on your list of deemed feminine, so jasad is going to be a male. Jasad is a male word. How about mudgha? Is the male or female word? It's a female word because of ta marbuta. So now we have the next one, Idha salahat. So salahat should sound like fa'alat. You know your scale, fa'ala, bismillah, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat. Salaha, salaha, salahu, salahat. What's salahat for? Salahat means to become whole sound. What is becoming whole the sound? A he or she? Salaha, he. Salahu, they. Salahat, she. So is that salahat referring to the mudgha or the jasad? You understand there's two things there. The Prophet ﷺ saying in the body, the jasad, there is a piece of flesh, a mudgha. Either if salahat, if she or it becomes sound, the jasad or the mudgha? Can you see, because it's a female verb, it's referring to a female thing. You understand? It can't be referring to the jasad. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying, Idha salahat, if the mudgha becomes sound, what becomes sound? Can you see the next verb? Salaha. Say the scale again. Salaha, salahu, salahat. So what's happening? Salahal jasadu. It referring to the jasad. Can you see the nahu there? The nahu plus the sarf. If the female thing it becomes sound, then the male thing, the body, becomes sound. Wa idha fasadat, and if it, what becomes corrupt? The mudgha, this piece of flesh, what happens? Fasada al jasadu. Again the body becomes corrupted. So I want to point out how the nahu and the sarf interact. Back to the hadith. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that if the heart becomes sound, whole, pure, unblemished, cleansed, purified, all of those things, then the entire being, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the entire being, kulluhu, all of it becomes what? Sound, pure, whole, cleansed. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ, and if the heart becomes corrupted, polluted, ill, what becomes ill? فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ, the body physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically becomes corrupted, ill and polluted. The Prophet ﷺ is telling us the importance of the heart. Now obviously in Western psychology we don't have the same thing. Those of you who do psychology, no one speaks about the heart. We're going to quote you about Freud and all those things. But in Islam, what do we say is central to our psychology? What is central to our understanding of a human being is the state of the heart. This is a part of Islamic psychology. That your heart is actually in control. Your heart is in control. I'll give like a simple example between the difference between the heart and the mind. For example, say you're lying in bed in the morning and you had a late night and it's really cold and you're lying in bed and then suddenly you hear the adhan. Now what does your mind tell you? Your mind tells you, hey, it's Fajr, I must get up. So your mind your mind is a basic process, so your mind understands, I must get up now, it's Fajr time. What determines whether you'll get up or not? Not your mind. What determines? The state of your heart. You understand? Knowing what is the right and the wrong thing, that's a mental process. You study laws, you study ethics, you study all those things. Knowing what is right and wrong is a mental process. Actually living right and wrong, that's a spiritual process. If your heart is sound, then your heart will accord to what your mind believes. If your heart is unsound, it will not accord to what your mind believes. That's called hypocrisy. When your mind says one thing, and your tongue says one thing, and your heart says something else, and your limbs say something else. That's called hypocrisy. So we have this idea of the heart being the inner and the limbs being the outer. And one of the goals of a believer is to be the same on the inside as the outside. Is that easy or difficult? One of the goals of a believer is that my heart is connected to Allah and my entire life, limbs, actions, words, thoughts, speech, everything is also connected to Allah. That's the goal. What do we often find ourselves in? We find that actually our hearts are in other places. Our hearts are in other places. And I spoke about it last week, 2 weeks ago. Our hearts may be attached to this world. Our hearts may be attached to our careers. Very often our hearts may be attached to ourselves. I always tell the youngsters, if you take 300 selfies and post it, that's a bit of a problem. If you take 300 pictures of yourself and post 300 pictures of yourself, that's slightly egocentric. Slightly narcissist. Be careful. It's a crazy. I mean, it's like a crazy culture. We actually a culture of the I culture, of the need. You know what selfie is called in Arabic? It's called nafsi. Selfie is called nafsi. So there's this kind of push that we want to put the self to the front, and like Allah is in somewhere in the background. And it's actually it's a very devastating culture, because we're a culture actually of, we don't push ourselves to the front. What do we say? Alhamdulillah. The praise goes to Allah. I'm not going to put myself forward and put myself as the one who is praised, the one who's looking so good, the one who is so cool, the one that's so popular, the one that's so wealthy, the one that's so intellectual, the one that's so influential. This is the disease of the I, the disease of the me. It's a heart that's in love with itself. It's a heart that has ta'ajjub with itself. It's amazed by its own self. And this is actually a disease of the heart. I don't speak about the diseases now. I want to speak about the solution, inshallah. And the solution comes from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The solution comes from Allah Ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathiran. O you who believe, udhkuru, remember and mention your Lord. Your heart must remember it, your tongue must mention it. Your Lord, what type of remembrance? Dhikran, a remembrance which is kathir. So one of the few things Allah actually puts the word kathir for in the Quran. It's not good enough to remember Allah a little bit. Allah is instructing the believers that your life must be a life of remembrance. Why must your life be a life of remembrance? Because as you remember Allah, it affects your heart. Therefore the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Mathalul bayt, the likeness, the example of a house. And you can think of your physical house, or you can think about the house of your heart. Same thing. Mathalul bayt, the example of a heart. Alladhi, that heart which yudhkarullahu fihi, that Allah's name, Allah's remembrance is mentioned, when Allah is continuously remembered and mentioned. Wal bayt, an example of a house, alladhi la yudhkaru Allahu fi, an example of a house that Allah is not mentioned. Allah is comparing two houses. The one house, Allah is mentioned constantly, all the time. Dhikr, dua, pondering, reflection. The other house, DSTV. Mathalul hayyi wal mayyit is like the difference between hayy. What's hayy? From hayat. It's the difference between the living, wal mayyit, and dead. The Prophet Allah, hadith in Muslim, the Prophet Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling you, a house or even a heart as well, where there is dhikr in, that is life. A heart where there is no dhikr, and a house where there is no dhikr, that is like a graveyard. So we shouldn't make our homes into graveyards. We shouldn't make our hearts into graveyards. And there are so many distractions now. It takes us, we have to take account of ourselves to try to remember Allah. We have to take account to ourselves to try to remove distractions. So my first piece of advice to you is that when you enter your house, don't blame anybody else, because you are the mother, you are the father, you are the brother of that house. No one comes into your house and tells you what to do. You decide the rules. You make the rules in your house, so you should transform your house into a house that pleases Allah. And one of my things, really, I believe you must throw away your TV. Throw it in the bin. Or keep your TV, but throw away the DSTV. You can plug in the computer to watch something now and then. Because people go into this mindless. You know what happens is, with so many channels, there's always something good on. With so many channels, there's always something interesting and informative and entertaining on there. But can you afford all those hours? My advice to you and your family and your children is, number one, is throw away your TV. Have a computer screen or projector, and you can choose what to watch, when to watch. It's a conscious choice. But this idea of a family coming together and just plonking on the couch and mindlessly looking at a box, that's not dhikr. And that's destroying the life of our families. What's the other problem in the house? We all suffer from it. Even worse than the TV. This thing here. Family sitting at the kitchen table or dining table, sitting like this, messaging. Not even eating together, messaging while you're eating. We are no longer present in our lives, present in our moments, and it's actually affecting us deeply. So the opposite of dhikr, what the opposite of dhikr is? Ghafla. Ghafla doesn't mean to sin. Ghafla means to be unmindful, heedless, unaware of Allah. So our question is, like, if someone had to open your heart in any moment, what do we see in your heart? Do we see the remembrance of Allah? Do we see some other distraction in there? Are our lives mostly dhikr or mostly ghafla? And the reality is that most of our lives, we are consumed, we are drowned in ghafla. That almost every moment, except for a little, we are in remembrance. It's almost like we have the heart of an unbeliever most of the time. Like a person who has no faith. That's our hearts most of the time. And it's a crisis. It's a deep crisis. So what we have to do, inshallah, is if you want to fix the heart, there's only one way. You have to remove the distractions. And what do you have to replace it with? The remembrance of Allah. The remembrance of Allah. So as a start, inshallah, all of you as students of Deen, you need to have a minimum spiritual program. Beyond your 5 salahs. Inshallah, you're all making your 5 salahs a day. If you're not, you must start, inshallah. But beyond your 5 salawat, beyond your five prayers a day, is have a spiritual program that you tie yourself to, that becomes wajib upon you. If you have a guide, that's fine as well. If you don't have, you can take some of the teachings of the Sunnah and add it to your life. But you must have something that you apply to your life every day. Otherwise you'll do less and less and less and less, and the dhikr becomes that 5 minutes of salah, and even that 5 minutes of salah, that doesn't become dhikr anymore. And then ghafla becomes every day until our lives become ghafil, completely unaware heedless of Allah, and that pollutes our heart. If that pollutes our heart, our intentions, our vision, our everything becomes distracted. The Prophet Allah ﷺ is saying, like, it's like being dead. So choose life, inshallah. Choose life. And the challenge for you, I'm especially calling those who are older, is take responsibility for your households. Don't let shaitan into your house. Don't let you willingly let shaitan into your house. Don't let your family be split apart. Don't let ghafla into your house. Take control of your house. And have a good, wholesome life. Go take a walk in nature, that's part of dhikr. Go help someone, that's part of dhikr. Sit together and read something, learn something, that's part of dhikr. Dhikr is vast, but dhikr is what? The mark of dhikr is do you have a conscious heart? Do you have a conscious heart or do you have a mindless heart? So we should strive to have conscious hearts, inshallah. May Allah guide us and Allah protect us, inshallah. Inshallah, what we are having on the weekend of the 16th of March, we are having our Mizan camp, inshallah, our Mizan retreat. So what happens is, the brothers, we go camping for the weekend, from Friday until Sunday, inshallah. The sisters, you will gather on Sundays, we'll tell you when, Sunday morning, and you have your own retreat. Sunday morning, I think it's the weekend of the 16th, what's the date? So in your year planner, it's a different date, but I'm saying so you can book the weekend, inshallah. The retreat, we normally have a spiritual retreat for the brothers. For many people, it's a life-changing event. It's not like a relaxing braai and relaxing stuff. It's a beautiful event where we come together as brothers. We remember Allah together. We have workshops and discussions together. We have some team building, hikes, reflections, obstacle courses just to get us going. And it's a beautiful weekend, inshallah. We'll be sending you details, but I'm telling you now just to book it, inshallah, for the brothers on the 16th. And for the sisters, the same Sunday also, you'll also have your Sunday morning until lunch, you'll have your own event as well, inshallah. And part of the retreat actually is to try to get us to a point where we have developed a spiritual program. Part of the objective of the retreat is that we come together in the remembrance of Allah in different ways, inshallah. So for that weekend, inshallah, try to make it. We'll send you some more details via email, inshallah. Barakallah, wa sallallahu sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah give us good hearts, inshallah. Amen.